Hi, welcome back to TechTalk Berca podcast with me, Karen Hapu, as a business representative from Berca Terkasa. And today is very special because not only me from Berca, it's also my friend.
Yeah, and I'm Frian Wira, and this is Intelligent and Machine Learning Manager in Berca. And then this is our special guest star, Mr. Phil.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you both.
Introduce yourself to our Sobat BercaOne.
Sure. So by way of introduction, my name's Philip Madgwick. I'm the Regional Vice President for Asia for Alteryx, based in Singapore. Thank you for having me.
Okay, today we are embarking on a fascinating journey into the heart of the modern workplace, data-driven decision, shaping the future of work in the age of automation and AI.
And this is just not about the technology. It's about a fundamental shift in how we work and how we think and how we achieve the success itself. We're witnessing a convergence of powerful forces, an automation that streamline process, AI that unlock hidden insight from data, and a workforce eager to embrace new ways of working.
Absolutely. This episode will hopefully explore how these different technologies are not just automating tasks, but really empowering individuals and everyday organizations to achieve unprecedented levels of productivity, innovation, and the impact.
Okay, we will discuss the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, from reskilling the workforce to navigating the ethical consideration of AI.
And we'll also share real-time or real-world examples and how companies are leveraging data and technology in real time in order to transform their businesses and create a brighter future, not just for the employees, but for the organizations as they grow as well.
So, buckle up. As we delve into the exciting world of data-driven decision making and explore how it's shaping the future of work. Now, Phil, could you tell us more about the Alteryx itself?
Sure, yeah, no problem. So at Alteryx, we believe that when you empower everyone within the organization to solve anything around data and analytics, analytics as a whole shouldn't be for the chosen few within an organization. AI, machine learning, these are all buzzwords, but you don't have to have an MBA or a PhD in order to get hands-on with the data and analytics that exists within an organization. So everyone should have accessibility to play around and manipulate data in order to drive the outcomes they're looking for. And in order to do that, it's important to make sure that it's having a measurable impact at the organization level and that the individuals touching that data are gaining confidence and progressing their own careers forward as well. So really from an Alteryx perspective, the power of data and analytics shouldn't just be limited to a certain job or a certain individual or a certain function. But when you see individuals and organizations come together around data and analytics, that's when it has the biggest impact within an organization.
Okay, that's intriguing. How does Alteryx make data accessible to non-technical users just like me? For example, I'm a salesperson. How?
Yeah, so we believe in making analytics accessible for everyone, and we refer to that as analytics for all. So Alteryx makes analytics accessible in a number of different ways, but from a non-technical user perspective, we provide an intuitive low-code, no-code platform that really simplifies analytics through a drag-and-drop user interface. So when you're dealing with data in that component and moving away from complex codes, and you can get more of a visual representation of how you're building workflows. And whether that's blending, preparing, analyzing data from multiple different sources within an organization and department. So it could be spreadsheets, it could be databases, it could be cloud applications, which more and more organizations are leveraging today. But from an Alteryx platform perspective, we've pre-built those automation tools into the platform, and we've combined that with AI-powered assistance. So even those without that technical expertise can really perform those advanced analytics in their day-to-day roles and in their day-to-day business. So data preparation, right the way through to predictive modeling. Alteryx enables them to automate a lot of the repetitive tasks that they're doing day in, day out, and that reduces the manual effort, and it also reduces the amount of errors that might exist or might occur as well. So that collaboration piece around data and analytics and making it easy to use for everyone is really what analytics for all is. And that's, enables organizations to move away from their data scientists or their IT personas, which traditionally they've been heavily involved.
Yeah, that's good. And how are enterprise leveraging this power?
Enterprises across various industries are using Alteryx. So we have over 8,000 customers globally who are using our Alteryx platform today. And they're really doing that in a couple of forms. But if we look at sort of improving the customer experiences, so they can gain deeper insights into customer behavior through the data and analytics they have on their customer base. And that enables them to personalize interactions, as an example. They're also optimizing their operations internally. So again, they're identifying inefficiencies within the business and streamlining those processes to enable them to enhance productivity. They're driving innovation, which is critical around data and analytics. They're uncovering new market opportunities, and they're really developing data-driven products and services and solutions as well. And I suppose finally, to sort of answer that question, it's around getting that competitive edge. So gaining a competitive edge over organizations who are not embracing data and analytics. And that's really about making faster, more informed decisions that ultimately enable them to drive business growth.
Mhm. It sounds like Alteryx is not just a tool, but Alteryx is catalyst for business transformation. Is it?
Absolutely. Yeah. By empowering every member of the organization to work with data and to work with analytics, Alteryx is really helping businesses to unlock their full potential and really to thrive in what is becoming a more data-driven world today.
Okay, that's interesting. But we're here in Indonesia. We are always excited about hearing customer success stories in everywhere, basically, and especially the one here in Indonesia. What can you share with us today?
Yeah, look, we're at Alteryx, we're incredibly passionate about Indonesia and the potential of Indonesia for us moving forward. And hopefully, if I come back again, it'll be 8,000 customers just in Indonesia. But look, we work with a major manufacturing organization here in Indonesia that was previously struggling, particularly within their marketing function around some of their marketing data processing that they had on a day-to-day basis. So they had data coming in from multiple different channels, be it retail partnerships, promotional events that they were running, market research that they were conducting in the market as well. And then they were sort of struggling with combining and analyzing it because it became a big bottleneck and a big headache for that organization.
Yeah, that's a common pain point that we hear about a lot. Yeah. How were they handling it before?
It was a mixture. So it was a mixture of marketing specific software that they had from legacy sort of years that they've used. Excel spreadsheets were very heavily used by them today within that department. And their team was really spending, I think it was about 3 days every month, just cleaning and combining that data. And because it was such a manual process, they were very prone to errors and couldn't deliver those insights quickly enough to make timely marketing decisions, which they were after.
3 days just for data prep? That's a lot of valuable time loss.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's really where Alteryx came in. So we implemented a workflow, or they implemented a workflow leveraging Alteryx that automated that entire process. So from the data collection element to the cleaning and the transforming that data, it went from 3 days down to roughly 28, 29, 30 minutes. So it was a real sort of game changer for them in terms of the process.
This is incredible. Can you walk us through the solution?
Yeah, so on the Alteryx platform, they built a very comprehensive workflow that handles that entire process. So it automatically pulls the data from their various data sources that they have. It standardizes the formats that they wanted to have the data in. It removes all the duplicates and duplicate data that they may have within Excel spreadsheets, as an example. And then it enabled them to create a clean, analysis ready data set. So that was the real game changer for them, because what they also enabled to do with Alteryx was to connect to their visualization tool, which was Click. So that sort of helped to streamline the whole process and make it more accessible.
Okay. I'm curious about the integration. Can you tell us more about the integration?
Yeah, so on Alteryx, they set up an automated data feed, which goes directly from the Alteryx platform and the workflow that they had built directly into their Click dashboards. So now their marketing team has that real-time access to the key metrics that they didn't have before. And that's things like campaign performance, market share analysis, ROI calculations, some key elements. And those dashboards now automatically update, so they're always working with the latest data.
Okay, what kind of impact had this had on their decision-making process?
It's been transformative for them, and their marketing team can now spot trends a lot earlier and react to how market changes in a far quicker way than they could do previously. So, for example, they recently noticed a dip in market share in a specific region that they were operating in here in Indonesia. And through the dashboard that they were getting real time data through, they were able to adjust their promotional strategy to really, again, within days rather than weeks or months that it was previously, to capture the opportunity and correct things.
Yeah. Can you share with us another story where a local customer have significant success with automation and analytics?
Yeah, sure. And this is actually one of my more favorite success stories because it has challenges that are common for many organizations and probably many people listening into this podcast now. And if we look at the sort of banking sector as a whole, this particular example, they were using traditional ETL tools like SSIS and things like that for their reporting needs.
Okay, that's interesting. Many will argue that SSIS with SQL Server is the go-to solution for bank reporting. What made this case different?
Well, the bank's MIS team was facing several challenges. They had skilled SQL team members and SSIS infrastructure was already in place. But they were struggling with the sort of collaboration and the time to insights that they were really sort of looking for. So each report modification needed some IT involvement, which did create some bottlenecks for them.
What was their reporting process like before the transformation?
They had about 50 different MIS reports that needed to be generated. I think it was weekly and monthly for them. So that process involved multiple teams across the bank and across the organization, from business analysts. So they would specifically sort of put up their requirement. IT would then modify the SSIS package and SQL procedures that were in place. And then Q&A would sort of verify whether those changes were accurate and correct. So a simple report modification could take days or even weeks within the bank.
That's quite a lengthy process. How did Alteryx change this?
Yeah, the game changer for the bank was really around them empowering their business analysts to modify their own reports rather than being so reliant on other teams and other functions. So again, on the Alteryx platform, they built workflows that connected their core banking systems. So data warehouse and various different department databases that they had. And that visual interface meant that the everyday analysts could understand and modify the data transformation logic without them having to write complex SQL code or rely on someone else to do that for them.
Were there any concern about moving away from SSIS?
No, actually, they didn't completely move away at all. It was more of a hybrid approach that they now have within the organization. And again, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It very much is that sort of hybrid infrastructure that most of our clients are using. So they kept SSIS for certain scheduled batch processes that they were running. But Alteryx became their go-to tool for things like report development and modifications that they were looking for. And the IT team absolutely loved it because it reduced their backlog. And the analysts loved it because it gave them so much more autonomy than what they had previously.
Yeah. Tell us about the collaboration aspect.
Yeah, and that's really where Alteryx shines, not just in this use case, but in others as well, because the visual workflows become a very common language between the business and between IT within a large organization. So analysts can prototype changes, IT can then review those changes, and everyone can see exactly how the data was transformed. So they can even run certain SQL scripts within Alteryx itself for a seamless experience. And that just makes things really easy, because if I'm an analyst building something in Alteryx and I leave the organization, it's really easy for the next person to come and pick up what I was working on.
Okay, what about the speed improvements?
Yeah, the numbers were fairly staggering. So report modifications that used to take 2 to 3 to 4 weeks now take 1 to 2 to 3 days. It really had that kind of dramatic impact. New report developments dropped from 6 weeks down to 2. But the real value was in that agility that I touched on. So when regulators required new reports, they could very quickly respond in much faster way than they could do previously.
Okay, were there any unexpected benefits?
Definitely, yeah. I think error detection improved significantly because the analysts could visually inspect the data at each step themselves, which they couldn't do previously. They also found that training new team members became easier. So instead of teaching them complex SQL, they could actually understand the logic through the visual workflows, which makes it accessible to everybody.
Yeah. What about governance and control? That's usually a big concern for banks, right?
Absolutely, 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 yeah. And they actually found Alteryx helped with a number of their governance procedures. So every change within Alteryx, within the workflow, can be documented. So it's all written within that workflow again, so anyone can pick it up and sort of see what it's there for. And it enables them to create version controls on everything that they're touching. So the audit trail, both internally and externally, is very clear as to why a change was made within that process. So they set up a process where effectively the analysts developed in Alteryx, then the IT team reviews what has been built before then deploying those workflows. And then they maintain a control system, and then they maintain that control really by improving the speed at which they're able to do so.
Okay, looking back, what would you say was the key to success?
It was really about finding the right balance. So they didn't try to replace everything with Alteryx. And again, that's not the messaging here. It's about coexistence with other technologies as well. So they kept SSIS for what it does best. And then by adding Alteryx, they created a more collaborative environment where business and IT can work together effectively. And that focus was on really empowering the analysts while maintaining the proper governance and controls.
Any advices for banks considering a similar transformation?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big bang approach. So start small, start somewhere. Find a department or find a business unit team. Start with reports and just very easily demonstrate the value through the improved turnaround times and collaboration. The results will speak for themselves very quickly. And remember, it's not about replacing the existing tools. It's about adding the right tools for the right job. And with Alteryx, it enables you to enable a number of people so you can get more results out quicker. Yeah, this is particularly relevant now around AI. And we're seeing many organizations really struggle with their AI implementation.
Quite a various of sources. How did you handle the data quality issues?
So that's where Alteryx visual workflows really shine. Integration goes much deeper than just the technical integration with a Snowflake or a Databricks. So for instance, we've built some native connectors that leverage their compute capabilities.